Have you ever wondered why some people, especially in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, seem to radiate peace and contentment even when they live alone, while others feel trapped in loneliness? Is it luck? Is it personality? Or is there something deeper at play? The truth is, happiness in older age isn't random. It doesn't fall from the sky. And it's not reserved for those with big families, large friend groups, or a busy social calendar. Happiness is created deliberately, intentionally, quietly. And today, you're going to discover how, not through cliches, not through superficial advice, but through powerful, science-backed, life-tested truths, shared by people who have walked through loneliness and come out stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled than ever. So sit back, take a deep breath, and allow yourself to feel hopeful again. This is your time now, your chapter, your chance to rediscover yourself in ways you may have forgotten. Let me tell you a secret that psychologists rarely word this plainly. Being alone and being lonely are not the same thing. Not even close. Thousands of older adults across America live alone, and many of them are happier than they ever were in their busy younger years. Why? Because solitude, when understood correctly, becomes a power. Most of your life might have been spent serving others, your children, your coworkers, your spouse, your community. You gave, you sacrificed, you worked. You were responsible for the world around you, but now, for the first time in decades, your hours belong to you. Let that sink in for a moment. Not to noise, not to obligations, not to anyone's expectations, but to you. When older adults shift from fearing solitude to embracing it, something magical happens. They rediscover their identity. Maybe you buried your passions under responsibilities. Maybe you postponed hobbies. Maybe you forgot how to enjoy things for yourself. But solitude gives you a quiet doorway back to the things that once made your heart feel alive. Reading, gardening, painting, listening to old music, trying something new, returning to something forgotten. It's not about filling time, it's about reclaiming your life. Psychologists call this self-reconnection, and research shows it dramatically increases life, satisfaction, and emotional resilience. But here's the twist. This transformation only begins when you allow yourself to stop fearing your own company. When you stop treating time alone as an empty space, and instead as a beautiful, open canvas. Quiet moments become powerful moments when you realize they are chances to hear your own thoughts again, and to recognize your own worth without the noise of the world. Have you ever noticed how a cup of coffee tastes different when you drink it slowly, with intention, with presence, instead of rushing through it? That is the power of rituals. And for someone who spends much of their time alone, rituals aren't just little habits. They are emotional anchors that give life structure, meaning, and comfort. Think about this. A morning walk, a candle at sunset, a warm bath in the evening, a favorite meal every Friday, a journal entry every night, a cozy chair facing a window where you watch the world go by. These are not small things. They are the threads that quietly hold your days together. Science proves that rituals reduce anxiety, improve emotional stability, and increase happiness, especially in older adults. Why? Because rituals create certainty, and certainty creates peace. When your life becomes quieter, routines aren't boring. They're grounding. They remind you that you are still writing your story day by day. You have control. You have purpose. You have rhythm. And here's a powerful truth most people overlook. Your rituals do not need an audience to matter. They matter because they belong to you. Every repeated act becomes a gentle form of self-love. A way of telling yourself, I am worth this moment. If you're still here with me, do something for yourself. Comment, I'm here, below. I love seeing who stays through the meaningful parts. Your presence matters. And if this video is helping you so far, I invite you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next one. Now let's keep going, because the next part might just awaken something inside you. Most people believe learning stops after school, after work, after a certain age. But the truth? Your brain never stops craving growth. Not at 40, not at 60, not at 90, never. And here's something astonishing. Older adults who continue learning, even in small ways, are happier, healthier, and live longer. Why? Because learning activates the part of the brain responsible for joy, motivation, and purpose. This is why older adults who keep their minds active often describe their later years as the most surprising chapter of my life. Learning doesn't mean school. It doesn't mean pressure. It doesn't mean deadlines. It means curiosity. It means keeping a spark alive inside you. It can be anything: a book, a new recipe, a puzzle, a documentary, a musical instrument, a free online course, a new form of exercise, a small challenge you give yourself each week. Learning gives your mind a reason to wake up with curiosity, not dread. It makes your days feel meaningful. It builds confidence that spills into every part of your life, and perhaps most beautifully, learning is something that no loneliness can take away from you. It is a companion that stays with you in silence, in stillness, in every moment of your day. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you stepped outside and really felt the world around you? Not rushing, not distracted, but really noticing. The sky, the wind, the sound of birds, the warmth of the sun, the smell of morning air. Nature has a way of reminding us that life is still beautiful, even on the days when we don't feel beautiful inside. And movement, even the gentlest kind, has the power to lift your mood almost instantly. You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment. You don't need to push yourself. You simply need to move your body at your own pace, your own rhythm, your own comfort level. Walk, stretch, dance slowly in your living room, water your plants, sit outside and breathe. This isn't about fitness. It's about feeling alive. Scientists call nature antidepressant therapy. They call walking emotion stabilizer medicine. But you don't need a doctor to tell you what you already know deep down. When you step outside, your heart feels a little lighter. Your thoughts feel a little clearer. Your day feels a little brighter. And sometimes, the world around you becomes a friend when people cannot. If you're still with me, comment "still watching" below, because you're proving something powerful about yourself. You're committed to growth. Now let's move on to something that can fully transform your inner world. When you spend a lot of time alone, your thoughts become your closest company, and sometimes they can be harsh. You may hear thoughts like, "I should have done more. I'm not needed anymore. My life is shrinking. I don't matter." But listen carefully, because this truth could reshape your entire emotional world. You cannot control everything that happens around you, but you can control what happens inside you. And it begins with two simple practices: gratitude, self-kindness. Gratitude isn't about ignoring pain. It's about shining a light where the darkness tries to grow. It can be as small as, "I'm grateful for this warm blanket. I'm grateful for a quiet morning. I'm grateful for my breath. I'm grateful for the memory that made me smile today." These tiny notes of appreciation slowly rewire your mind, building calm, building hope, building joy, and then comes self-talk. Be honest. Would you speak to someone you love the way you sometimes speak to yourself? You deserve gentleness, understanding, patience, forgiveness, kindness. You deserve to treat yourself as a friend, not a critic. Researchers say this one shift can reduce anxiety, reduce loneliness, and increase happiness more than almost any other habit, because when the voice inside you becomes softer, the world outside feels less heavy. Connection doesn't only come through best friends or family gatherings. It doesn't require deep relationships to bring meaning. Sometimes connection looks like a small wave to a neighbor, a short conversation with someone at the store, a volunteer moment at the local library, an online class where you recognize familiar names, a walking group, a community event, a friendly note, a simple act of kindness. These small interactions create threads of warmth that remind you that you are part of the world, not outside of it. And guess what? Psychologists say that these micro-connections boost emotional well-being just as much as friendships. Volunteering, joining groups, connecting online, these aren't about filling loneliness. They're about expanding your sense of belonging. They remind you, you still matter. You still contribute. You still have a place in this world. And the most beautiful part? Every new connection starts the same way, with one small step. Even watching this video right now is a form of connection. You're not alone in your journey. You're part of a community of older adults seeking more joy, more meaning, more hope. And that brings us to the final part. If you've made it this far, let me tell you something you may not hear often enough. You are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you realize. And you are absolutely capable of creating happiness, even if your life looks different now than it once did. Being alone does not mean you are forgotten. It does not mean your story is over. It does not mean your best days have passed. Sometimes, the quietest chapters become the most meaningful ones. You have wisdom. You have experience. You have survived so much. You have grown through storms others will never understand. And you deserve joy, not later, not someday, but now. Every moment you spend learning, growing, moving, noticing, appreciating, connecting, you are building a new version of your life. A version filled with peace, purpose, hope, strength, meaning, and yes, happiness. If this video moved you, helped you, or spoke to you in any way, please like the video. It helps us reach more older adults who need this message tonight. And if you want more deeply emotional, life-changing videos for older adults in the US, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Your support allows us to keep creating videos just like this for you. Before you go, share in the comments. What is one thing you learned today that you want to practice in your own life? Your words may inspire someone else who is reading. Thank you for spending this time with me today. And remember, happiness is still yours. Your story is still unfolding, and the best chapters may still be ahead.